Hey, what's up? GW coming live. Hey, over the weekend, uh, one of my favorite actors passed away, and I know many of you might not care about this video. Y'all can skip it, but if you want to hear why I like this guy and what happened, just stick around. Michael Madsen passed away, and if you guys don't know who he is, I suggest you check out Reservoir Dogs. That would be a good starting point. He plays the sadistic Mr. Blonde. And the scene that defines him in that movie is very iconic. He's torturing a cop and he cuts his ear off. And the torture scene itself garnered a lot of controversy when it came out. On the special edition DVD of Reservoir Dogs, there's an alternate take of the ear slicing scene. And the whole time he's doing this, you know, he's listening to Stuck in the Middle with You. To this day, I cannot think, anytime I hear that song, I can't think about, or I always think about, rather, Mr. Blonde. And that's just a memory. You associate the song with the character. He also was supposed to be in Pulp Fiction. He turned down the role because he was filming Wyatt Earp and just couldn't do it. He collaborated with Quentin Tarantino again on Kill Bill, which he played Bud. And if you've seen the movie, Bud was the most sympathetic character. Yes, he had a hand in Uma Thurman's ultimate demise turned into revenge plot, but he was the one character I think, had guilt. And I think that's what separates him from the rest. He was also in The Hateful Eight as Joe Gage, the cowpuncher. And very interesting, very interesting movie, that Hateful Eight. He was also in Species 2 as Preston Lennox, the alien hunter. And that's where I think that in Reservoir Dogs was the first time I've actually seen his work, and I really liked it. He's been on other things. Crap, you name it, he's been on there. Free Willy, He did a remake of the movie House, which I really like that movie. It's a far cry from the Roger Cobb, you know, Sean Cunningham deal. It's more serious, more darker, and his character is just crazy. He was in A Long Hard Ride to Hell, which I've never seen, but I heard it's really good. It's a grindhouse movie. Trying to think of what else he was on. He was on, like I said, Wyatt Earp. He was in a lot of movies. Um, he was in Sin City. I know he was in there. I'm not sure the sequel, but I know he was in Sin City. But I always liked the guy. His characters were believable. His acting was very, very well done. And he's appeared in over 300 movies and TV, so it is hard to list them all here, in that regard. It's a shame. He died of cardiac arrest, heart failure. And that hits close to home with me because my grandmother, she died of congestive heart failure. And that was some time ago. And it's terrible. He was 67 years old. He has an upcoming movie. Whether or not it'll be released will be the question. It's called A Corpse in Kensington. I don't know much about it because I just, read the Wikipedia page. So I don't know what's going to go on with that. But he was a great actor, and he was one of my personal favorites. And for those of you who don't know, my top actors, despite their public personality, I'm talking about acting skills, just that's it, that's all I'm talking about, would be De Niro. Forget his political beliefs. I don't care about that. I think it's sickening. But as an actor, he's awesome. Then you go to Harvey Keitel. Harvey Keitel is a little bit underrated, if you ask me. And like I said, whenever I did that review, or whenever I talked to, specifically to Jason McBride over this YouTube channel, I did manage to pigeonhole in a Mean Streets review, which go back and watch it. I mean, Keitel is amazing. You can tell he's going to be somebody huge in the entertainment world. Interesting fact about Keitel, do you know he was cut from Apocalypse Now? That's right. When Martin Sheen, before Martin Sheen stepped on, he was the lead actor. Harvey Keitel was. Yeah, small world, huh? But you won't find any of that footage because that's in Francis Ford Coppola's, vault. Bruce Willis. I mean, you cannot beat Die Hards for any measure of the stretch of the imagination. To me, they're the perfect action movies. But I understand, that was old school. This is new school. Y'all have the Fast and Furious. Y'all got Vin Diesel. He's pretty cool too. I did like Van Damme in his prime. I think the cat is still pretty good. I watched Bloodsport not too long ago, and it still holds up. Very well done. Very interesting movie. But when you start talking about Van Damme and Seagal and all them, you're not really looking at acting per se. You're looking at their fight skills. What kind of martial arts they practice, how they bring it to the table, and how it's going to be showcased. You know. Um, and speaking of Keitel, one of his best movies is and forever will be Bad Lieutenant. You can't touch that. That thing is controversial. Aba Ferrara did a heck of a job. If you guys haven't seen that and you want something gritty that showcases an actor's range, this is a role that's pretty bold. Harvey Keitel plays a junkie, a gambler, a drug addict, and a cop all rolled into one. And the plot of the movie is he is hired to investigate the rape of a nun. Very controversial, NC-17 type material, but one of Keitel's best performances to date. Like I said, Bruce Willis. I like Val Kilmer too. His portrayal of Jim Morrison in The Doors was fascinating. Very, very true to life. Maybe a little bit, you know, stretched, but still very good. Dustin Hoffman, his earlier stuff was great, like Lenny, about Lenny Bruce. You can't touch him, man. He was just the man. I do like Nicolas Cage. I think he's far out, whacked out, and he's perfect for every role he plays, especially Willy's Wonderland, which I can't even begin to tell you what a guilty pleasure that film is. But back to Michael Madsen. When I first saw him, I was like, this guy, he's awesome. He had that presence where any character that he jumped into, you kind of believed. Species, when he played Preston Lennox, like I said, the alien hunter, it was an awesome role. Awesome series. I don't know why they don't bring that one back. That was great. But yeah, he died, and it kind of sucks because I really liked that guy. And I say that about a lot of people, and a lot of people go, Greg, you like everybody. No. I grew up, and I'm going to tell you guys a little secret. In high school, when everybody was out getting drunk, having sex, getting arrested, whatever they were doing, I was studying film. And I was, you know, checking out, like I said, Bad Lieutenant, works of Abel Ferrara, that, Miss 45. I was digging into all these cult classics. Taxi Driver, Quentin Tarantino hit big with Reservoir Dogs and then Pulp Fiction the year after. I was all up into the movie scene, guys. And that's why, I know a lot about what I know. There was a video store that I used to go to, Primetime Video, and the owner guy was named Steve. Forget their last name. Him and his wife owned it. And you walked in, and it was just like you'd see in Clerks. When Randall comes in and drops to his knees, and there's wall-to-wall videos everywhere. And it was great. So I was checking all those out, watching all this stuff. All these controversial movies people never even heard of. I was hitting them up. I was checking them out. I was digging who was the cinematographer? Who was the special effects guy? You'd watch a few movies with the special effects guy and realize, hey, maybe this guy directed his own movie. You check that out, yeah. And you jump and you learn about all this stuff. That's why I know a lot of this stuff. I do. I know a lot of useful crap. But, yeah, Michael Madsen. For those of you who haven't seen anything, I would suggest, like I said, Reservoir Dogs first. Then I would jump to Species 2. I would watch Kill Bill 1 and 2 because he's in both of those. And then I would watch The Hateful Eight and go from there. Because his collaborations with Quentin Tarantino were nothing more than legendary, in my opinion. The Hateful Eight is a very clever movie. It really is. I think they still have the extended version on Netflix. I am not really too sure. But definitely check that out. But yeah, once you watch Reservoir Dogs, you will think of Stuck in the Middle with You, or you will think of the torture scene every time you hear Stuck in the Middle with You because of Michael Madsen's character. He was also in Donnie Brasco, and I forget his name. He was a mob boss. It was either Sonny Red or Sonny Black. I think it was Sonny Black. Yeah. Opposite Al Pacino, opposite Johnny Depp. Very good film. Very, very good film. If you haven't seen that, definitely give that a whirl. That's about Joe Pistone's undercover attempt at getting into the mob, getting secrets, and it cost him almost everything. So I would really watch that one. But Michael Madsen's not a main player, and he's a side player, but not a main player. Same with Species. He's not main, but he's close enough to being a main character in there. But yeah, and he was actually, like I said, supposed to be in Pulp Fiction, and he was supposed to play John Travolta's part. And after you see some of his performances, you kind of wonder what he'd bring to the table if he played Vincent Vega. Now, interestingly enough, in Reservoir Dogs, a lot of people miss this, and I'm going to give you a clue. His name in Reservoir Dogs, his character's name was Vic Vega. If you watch Pulp Fiction, John Travolta's character is named Vincent Vega. Tarantino was asked about it and actually elaborated on it at one point and said, you know what? I have a movie for these two to do. Because everybody, who really paid attention, these cinephiles like myself, paid attention and was like, hey, they got the same last name. So Quentin Tarantino kept coming up with it, and he's like, I got a movie. It's a Vega Brothers movie, but it never came to fruition. Some speculate that's going to be his last movie to tie up every movie that's in the Quentin Tarantino universe, minus The Hateful Eight, because it took place, in 1800. It'll be interesting to see if that movie ever comes to fruition. But as of right now, with Michael Madsen passed away, I don't believe that's possible. And Travolta's getting pretty old. But yeah, Michael Madsen, a great actor, great screen presence. And I really liked him. And I appreciate, you guys listening to me. I also appreciate you guys checking out the McBride's video, as well as the footage that I shot at the parade. And again, I'm still buzzed about that. And, like I said before, I have 75 subscribers, some of which I didn't even know till the other day. Emily, Rob, there's a bunch of people that I didn't even know subscribed to my channel, and I'm sorry because I've been a little busy. I just seen that. I'm like, holy crap. So if you've listened to me talk about all this, then just know that I really appreciate you subscribing to me. I know that I see a lot of you guys at work and I wave, and I don't know if you guys checked out my videos or not, but I'm glad that you guys do, and I'm glad that you guys support and appreciate and are always awesome with me. And I was telling my wife the other day on a sidebar that I was telling her that, ever since COVID, this world's been all over the place, crazy. You got that flooding in Texas. You got a lot of bad stuff, and you got people that are ignorant in this world. But I go to work, and, I'm constantly up and down the hallways, and I see some of the people that subscribe to me, and you guys are always the best. And that's a feeling that I wouldn't trade for the world. I mean, you guys make me feel appreciated, and I think that's what more of this world needs. But I'm not going to get on a preaching deal and start that. But everyone who subscribed to me, I want to thank you again. Thank you for sticking by me. and listening to me rant on about, just something that I know. This thing started as a hobby and it just blew up. If you would have told me when I started this YouTube channel that I'd have 75 subscribers, I would have been like, yeah, nobody wants to listen to me. But you know what? I'm really grateful for everybody that's really cool with me, and I can't say thank you enough. So you've listened to me for 15 minutes, and hopefully, whatever you do after this, you do it awesome. And Saturday, if I have the time, we're going to review Until Dawn, the new horror film that should be interesting. It's based on the video game, but it deviates from the source material in a couple of ways. I've read reviews. I think it'll be a fun ride if you throw your brain in the back seat and just go with it. So I'm going to give you the ins and the outs of that movie on Saturday, and I will see you then. Peace.